Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh loses their first game 24-17 in almost 2 months. It was ugly. The Steelers had 4 turnovers and 2 interceptions, and then 2 fumbles. Lots of points were taken off the board because of those turnovers. Lindsey had too many. He had 14 attempts, 14 attempts. He was averaging 14 yards a carry, and he got 110 yards and a touchdown. That's the second reason the Steelers lost. Third reason they lost is Emmanuel Sanders. We didn't stop them. He only had 86 receiving yards, but he also had that one major touchdown after the turnover. But let's just start with the turnovers and my main reason the Pittsburgh Steelers lost this game. The main reason the Steelers lost this game started in the first half. McDonald had a huge play, would have been a touchdown. He fumbled it inside the end zone, went out of the end zone for a touchback. That was 7 points lost if he didn't fumble that ball. There was another fumble. I think it was the James Conner fumble in the second half. James Conner fumbled the football inside the red zone, and that would have led to at least 3 or 7 points. So that right there is 10 to 14 points we've already lost. Then Ben had an interception, and that was the interception that led to 7 points for Broncos. Then at the end of the game, Ben Roethlisberger threw an interception, which he shouldn't have even thrown, because if the linebacker didn't intercept it, the cornerback would have intercepted it when going to Antonio Brown. So that was the 4th turnover, and that would have led to a touchdown more than likely, or at the very least 3, but that was a 4-down territory. So right there you have 7, and then 3 or 7 points. So that's 10. McDonald touchdown, that's 17. So the Steelers really left on the board 20 to 24 points off of 4 turnovers. You can't win football games doing that. Let's talk about some of the positives the Pittsburgh Steelers had on a tough road game. My main positive for Pittsburgh on the road was at the end of the first half, the Steelers didn't kick a field goal. They did the fake field goal, and it resulted in a touchdown. That was Boswell's first passing touchdown of his career, and it was Villanueva's first receiving touchdown in his career as a Steeler. So that was fun. And then Juju Smith-Schuster had a 97-yard touchdown that ties NFL record for a player with 2 97-yard touchdowns in their career. No other player in NFL history has had two 97-yard touchdowns in NFL history in their career. That ties his personal record with his longest reception of and a touchdown in the same play, dating back to 2 years ago in Detroit. So that was another positive. I kind of wish it was 98 yards so he could break that personal record. But either way, those were the 2 positives. Beyond that, the Steelers aren't looking too hot. We didn't look too hot last week, and if we continue to play like this, we aren't going to do much in the playoffs. I'm not too worried. Overall, this loss doesn't mean much for Pittsburgh. It definitely means that we won't be in the first or second seed more than likely out of this week. But the Steelers next week are finally back at home. They are facing a very hot team, the Los Angeles Chargers. They are 8-3. Pittsburgh falls to 7-3-1 after this loss. It's a Sunday night, 7:20 Eastern time game. It's going to be a tough road match. If we can't win, a tough home game. If we cannot win that game, then I would have doubts about Pittsburgh really making a run for it this year. And Conner has to play better. I know I'm going back to earlier, but he has to play better. The last 3 games, he doesn't even have 100 rushing yards. He's not even close to 100. I think of the last 3, he's closest to 67 rushing yards 3 weeks ago. He fumbled the ball, I think, once today, I know for sure. And I feel like 3 weeks ago, I feel like he fumbled it again. I'm not completely sure on that, but I know he does have 2 fumbles on the season, and we can't have 4 turnovers in this game, and we can't. I think we had 4 last week. We had 3 for sure last week. You can't have 7 or 8 turnovers in 2 weeks and expect to win in the National Football League. If we can win next week, we'll be back on the track. But if we lose next week, the Steelers seriously have to be worried about their playoff hopes. And obviously, I still think we'll get in, no problem. But how many games are we going to win in the playoffs if we keep playing like this? It's something to worry about, but not lose your mind about, because it's just one game. Sometimes we have bad games, but Steelers really had a bad game last week and barely won. It's just a game we should have won. We left way too many points on the board, and we really could have won this game by at least two possessions if we didn't turn the ball over. This was our game to win, and it was also our game to lose, and we lost the game, unfortunately. But the Pittsburgh Steelers always have next week. You just have to learn from your mistakes, and as Tom Brady said it, I don't like Tom Brady, but as he said it, your losses teach you a lot more than wins do. So if we can learn from this loss and move on to next week, we can take care of the Chargers at home in Pittsburgh, And if we can do that, I think our playoff chances increase dramatically. If we don't win there, be worried. Until the next time, I'll see y'all before the game. Until then, pray for the Steelers because we need it. Go Steelers.